personally. But a lot of people have actually been asking my Patreon sometimes and other stuff, but people, that isn't even an exaggeration, people actually have been asking me this. And so today I thought, and the best and the worst legends to play. And not gonna lie, this list is kind of gonna be brutalizing a few legends, trying and brutalizing different legends. Like there are a lot of legends who I'm gonna go all in on in this list. But yeah, alright. So let's start off with the A's. Aida. She's probably one of the most solid starter characters. Her defense stat could be better, and I believe there actually might be a nerf or buff coming to her soon. I'm not sure. She might be. Has a good weapon combo in blasters and spear. The spear can be used for for quick jabs and quick, easy damage. And the blasters can be used just for mostly sig attacks, so you can kill someone very extremely easily and knock them out of the arena. She's an okay starter character, but there are definitely better starters. She's really kind of for the moderately experienced players. You've not just got the game, but you know the basic mechanics. Up next we have Artemis. Artemis is arguably one of the most picked legends in Brawlhalla, and that's mainly because of his absurdly high speed stat and his extremely good weapon pool. His weapon pool in the rocket lance and the scythe is extremely useful, especially because the scythe is used to get extremely good damage in, while then the rocket lance can just be used for gaining the advantage of high ground, and also just being quick with your attacks. So scythe, in my opinion, is the better attacker for the two out of the two. But it really does depend on what you prefer. Do you prefer fast quick attacks, or do you just prefer like getting the high ground? But I'd say for him, he's more for the more experienced players. I mean, he doesn't take too much to pick up a master, but he does have a fairly big skill ceiling. Alright, now we have Hitori, and now Hitori is honestly one of my most underplayed legends, but just from playing her for a bit, I do know a fair bit about her. The katars, she has good weaponry in the katars and sword. Katars are pretty viable for getting extremely good damage in, and then finishing people off with just one sig. But honestly, it's just not good enough in my opinion. It takes a lot of, let's just say, game experience to actually really know what an Hitori is going to do, or how to play her really, because she's an extremely awkward hero to master. And in my opinion, out of all of the characters in Brawlhalla, she does have one of the highest skill ceilings, and the reason I say that is not because of her amount of dexterity and speed, but she's really more for the more experienced players because of how her game mechanics really work. Up next we have Azoth. I'm not gonna lie to you, Azoth is pretty dang awful. In my opinion, strength-wise he's insane, defense-wise he's excellent, but dexterity and speed just don't really cut it, to be honest. He's got okay dexterity, it's pretty respectable, but speed-wise I feel like just needs to be a slight bit higher for him to be a top-tier character. The bow and the axe combo doesn't really work that well for me, because the axe is more for close range, slow hitting damage, while the bow is kind of for faster hits but for worse sigs. So I'm not really sure when it comes to which one you're going to use. It's really kind of based on how much you know about him and how good you play with most axe characters. But bear this in mind, you're going to have to use a lot of bow characters and a lot of axe characters to actually be decent with this guy. He's got a very high skill ceiling, like most other characters in this game, but he really isn't a character for beginners. He's mostly more for the more experienced players who like playing, who really start knowing what the characters that have been nerfed and buffed are, the people who check the patch notes literally every single day. Yeah. Up next we have Barraza. Now Barraza is honestly not my most played legend, obviously, but I have played him a lot on the PC version and Nintendo Switch version of Brawlhalla, so I kind of know what he's about. Now, he's got pretty damn good defences, may I just say. He's got extremely solid defences. Attacking-wise, strength-wise, he's got very, very good. But I think the problem really kind of lies within the dexterity and speed, just like Azoth. Now, Barraza is a good legend all round, don't get me wrong, but he's a very slow attacker. He's a very slow attacker when it comes to axe, because the axe is actually one of the slowest weapons in the entire game. Blasters are okay, but you can only really use them with Barraza if you're more experienced at the game. But I would say, if you would like to learn him even more, then you're going to have to play him a lot. Up next we have Brynn. Now Brynn is, again, not my most played legend, but I have played her a lot on the Switch version. She's actually a pretty respectable character if you look at her correctly. In the right ways, she has some of the most balanced stats in the game, but in other ways, I think she can be an extremely viable and good legend if you can use her correctly. It depends really what you're playing her in. If you're playing her in some sort of strikeout, then maybe not. But if you're playing her in just normal 1v1s, then I feel like she's a pretty dang good legend for that. Now strength and dexterity and defense is all extremely balanced. Speed is extremely good, and she's got a good weapon combo in the axe and the spear. The axe and the spear is honestly one of the greatest weapon combos actually conceived, because you want fast attacking for the spear and you want heavy strong attacks for the axe. She doesn't take too much to master, but she is not the best legend, in my opinion. Alright, up next we have Bodvar. Bodvar is honestly one of my favourite legends in this entire game. Now, he's sort of like the mascot, I guess. One of the reasons I say that is because, like, he's literally Brawlhalla's poster child. You can see him on everything, like, for example, he gets all the cool skins, he gets all the events. Like, for example, he gets Xavier Woods, he gets these three lads. I love them, they're sick. Like, Bodvar is an insanely good legend. Now, let's just forget about his skins, but let's have a look at who he's actually good with, what he's good for. The grapple hammer is an insanely good weapon for in mid-air combats for him, and also the sword is good for grounding combats. For example, his sig attacks actually do a hell of a lot. And honestly, he's one of the most balanced characters in this game. Strength and dexterity is extremely respected, is very respectable. Defense and speed's fairly good as well, so I would say, but honestly, he's not really the character, he's not really too hard to pick up a master, but you are going to need to play a few games with him before you realise how high his skill ceiling really is. Alright, up next we have Caspian. Again, Caspian isn't my most played legend, but I do play him a lot on other versions of the game. Honestly, Caspian is an absolute godsend. He's an extremely powerful character with good strength and good speed. Defenses and dexterity could be slightly better, but honestly, the gauntlets and katars really help him out in this emotion. The katars, he has ranged sigs, which actually extremely help him out when it comes to ranged combat. When it comes to ranged combat, for example, if you're getting a character like Terrace who's charging at you, or even Sol, then you can easily just use your katars, throw one at him, and then just immediately sig him up in the air. Honestly, it's not really that difficult, in my opinion, to play Caspian, but you're gonna have to. But again, he's got a really high skill ceiling, so I'd suggest not really picking him up. He's really more for the moderately skilled players, but not for noobs, let's just say. Now Cassidy. Cassidy. Once used to be the most broken character in all of Brawlhalla, and still she is a very broken character, not gonna lie. She's got a good combo in blasters and grapple hammer. The grapple hammer can literally dominate. Her grapple hammer can literally dominate when it comes to area combats. If you're trying to seize an entire area, then she's literally the legend for you. If you're trying to be an absolute arsehole, she's a legend for you. But honestly, her stats are very good, especially her dexterity. Her dexterity is actually one of the highest in the game. I think apart from Lin Fei's, I'm not sure, I'm going to have to check that out later. But honestly, Cassidy is a very good legend in my opinion. She's not that hard to pick up a master, but she does take a bit of going, let's just say. Now we have Cross. Cross. I do not like Cross. I'm going to put it plainly. I do not like Cross at all. I hate Cross, reason being is just because of one reason, and that's because of his horribly distributed stats. Dexterity and speed is horrendous. Strength is just too over the top for him. And defense, why does he even need that? Like, he's not even a character with armor, so that just makes a logical sense why he would have that. Honestly, Cross really isn't just a character that shines in my eyes. He's got blasters and gauntlets, which is a very generic combo in my opinion. I think so at least. But honestly, again, it just doesn't cut it for me, because there's so many characters that do Cross's job just so much better. Which brings me to my next character, Diana. Diana, the bow and blasters combo is insane. You do not want to come across it. And she's actually one of the most picked legends in Brawlhalla currently. If you're playing in the higher tier ranked games, then you are going to want to play this character and learn how to pick her up. She's honestly one of the harder characters to master in my opinion though. And she doesn't really, she's more for the ranged combats, I guess. She can enjoy short range combats, but you know, it's not really her forte, may I just say. Alright. But honestly, she's a good enough legend. I don't see why she wouldn't be picked. She is a decent legend, but again, not my most played. Now we have Dusk. I'm just going to straight up say it here. Dusk is one of the most awkward legends to play ever. He's got horrible defense. He's got pretty damn bad defense. Speed is okay. Strength and dexterity, however. Dexterity is just too over the top. Now, I'm not going to lie. These stats, if Cross's stats and Dusk's stats actually did switch place, I feel like that they would be a lot better legends in the game. Like, for example, the strength on Cross and the strength on Cross and the strength on Dusk is actually fairly almost even. But I would say Dusk is honestly the better legend out of the two, because of his spear and orb combo, you can get quick and easy attacks off and quick and easy sigs. But he's honestly not the hardest. He's honestly not the hardest character to pick up and master. But you're gonna need a bit of experience before you start though. Now we have the most rage-inducing character. I'm talking about Ember. Again, I'm going to straight up say it. Ember is not that good of a character. She's an okay character stats-wise. It's just the bow and katars and her sig. Her sig is okay. She's able to bring a wolf out, but she cannot really recover from it quick enough. She's easily punishable after she uses her sig. She's not a very forgiving legend for her positioning, but it really does depend on how you play her. Do you like sig spamming with her? Do you like dealing out some damage, then finishing on people off with sigs like most people do? Let me know in the comments below. But honestly, I feel like Ember is one of the lesser valuable legends in this game. Now we have Fate. Fate. Again, not my most played legend. I'm saying that a lot, I feel like. But Fate's strength and speed is actually pretty respectable. Dexterity and defense could be a slight bit better, and maybe even nerf her strength a little bit, honestly, because her size and orb combo is insanely good. If you want to get ranged attacks off, this is a character for you, because honestly, she's not that hard of a character to pick up and master, but she can have a bit of a high skill ceiling for newer players. But now we're up against Nash. I remember this guy so much before his nerf. His nerf, in my opinion, was honestly one of the lesser things that was honestly one of the most surprising things that actually happened. If you remember back in the early days of Brawlhalla when this guy was first released, his dexterity stat was a lot higher than it was, and his defense stat honestly was a lot worse than it is now. He only had like 2 defense and 5 dexterity, but honestly, that made him a pretty damn balanced character. His defense could have been better, but you could have changed that with stances. His strength and speed stat are really good. not really good, not gonna lie. But the grapple hammer and spear combo is really moderate combat. If you're looking kind of just for dragging your opponent in and then finishing them off with a sig, then this is really a good character to use that for. Now, Nash is not my most played character again, but I'd say he's a very good character if you're new to the game, if you want to just learn the mechanics, basic. He's honestly a decent character to learn. Make sure you try and pick him up. Alright, now we have Hitori. Hitori is, again, a really good legend. And honestly, strength and defense stats wise, pretty awkward, but honestly, he makes up for it. Like he or she, I think she makes up for it in dexterity and speed. Dexterity and speed on legends is extremely important, so you can get good attacks off. It doesn't matter about the strength as long as the dexterity stat is high enough. Apart from Lin Fei. Lin Fei is terrible. But honestly, if you look at Hitori, then you're going to be able to see the easy, like her stats. Look at that. That dexterity stat is out of this world good, and the speed stat is extremely good if you want to pick up weapons quickly and then start on your opponents and be a massive knob. But that's basically her for you. Now we have Isaiah, my main. Isaiah is my main for one reason, and that's because A, I like it. It's my main for a few reasons. A, because I like his stats, I love his stats. B, cannon and blasters is insane good. And C, he's just got dope skins. But honestly, Isaiah is not really a character that's that hard to pick up and master. You can actually start doing combos with him fairly early on if you just learn the basics of the cannon, because the cannon is such a good weapon in Brawlhalla. It depending on your dexterity stat. Honestly, I'd say for the most part, Isaiah is a really balanced character. But maybe if you want, I'd say nerf him. I know he's my main, but I'd say slightly nerf his defense stats, but that's just me. I'd say put it down to around just maybe exactly his dexterity stats, and I feel like that'll balance him out a bit more. But honestly, that's just me. I really like this legend, but there is so much more to say about him, but I can't, time-wise. Now we have Jalla. Jalla, that's kind of what holds her back. If she had less strength and really she had more, let's just say, defensive stats, then she would be a top tier character hands down. But I honestly would believe that if she was, just a bit more square when it came to things. Like if you're playing in Strikeout, then you're kind of asking to die as this character, because unless you're able to get extremely good sigs and extremely good attacks off, then defense and speed wise there's not really much point in having that. But honestly, you're going to really want to focus on her dexterity, because that's really the main part of her kit. Now we have Jiro. Jiro was actually a main at one point, one of my mains at one point, but I really kind of just didn't like him. I kind of just went off from him, and then I kind of went on to another legend, which I'm going to talk about later. Now, Jiro is a good legend all round, really. He's got a very balanced attack stats, very good dexterity stats, and insanely good speed. Defense is kind of where it all falls down, really. He's actually a fairly hard character to pick up and master, so you're going to want to learn the basics of scythe and sword first. But honestly, if you're going to be learning scythe, then I'd say you're going to want to learn a few scythe combos before you actually start trying to play this legend, because he's more of a ranged, and honestly he's more of a ranged attacker, but he's easily punishable after he does his sigs, because he's extremely vulnerable. So if you're going to get caught off guard, that's when. Now we have Kea. Kea I've literally never played. I'm not even lying, but I had it on this console. But honestly, I've played it, but she was actually used to be my main on PC. Honestly, she is an insanely good legend. She has a good combo within the spear and bow. Stats-wise, very, very balanced. I like her. But honestly, her sigs can do with a little bit less range, in my opinion. But that's just me. Now we have Koji. Now, Koji is... how do I put this? A really good legend. Dexterity-wise, he has some of the best dexterity stats in the entire game, and he has the fastest sig, may I add. And also, his strength stats are very balanced. His defense stats are insanely good for him, and also for speed stats, you're looking at a pretty damn balanced legend. If you want to get, he's not the hardest character to pick up a master, but if you're gonna be picking him up straight off the bat and trying to be a pro with him straight away, which most people probably are, just honestly, just try and use the bow as much as possible. I cannot stress this enough. Stop just spamming sword combos. Stop just spamming sword sigs. It's not good, honestly. If you want to learn Koji, learn the bow. Because honestly, I cannot stress that enough. Because I've come across so many people that don't even play Koji just for the bow. As soon as they get the bow, they just lob it at something. They don't even use it like properly. But I digress. That's really just all I have to say about him. Very good, well-rounded character. Now we have Core. Core is again one of my lesser played legends, but honestly, Gauntlets and Grapple Hammer is pretty damn good combo. Defense stats are insane, strength stats are pretty good, speed stats are okay, and same with dexterity. All in all, a very balanced legend. It doesn't take too much to pick up, and then that's just him. Now we have possibly the worst legend in the game. In fact, let me rephrase that. The worst legend in the game. Lin Fei is just bad. And all across the board, she's got dexterity and speed. And honestly, if you just put some of that into her strength, if you put at least 2 bits of dexterity into her strength, then maybe she'd be a bit more of a balanced and more picked character. But she's one of the least picked characters in Brawlhalla, and she's the worst. Honestly, she's that bad, literally nobody wants to play her. And out of every single character in the entire game, she was probably, I probably don't think I've played her that much. I've only played a few games with her, that's it. Nothing more. Alright, now we're on to Lucien. Lucien is, how do I put this? Broken. Lucien's strength stat is pretty damn weak, not gonna lie. But his dexterity, defense, and speed all make up for that in seconds. Katars and Blasters is an incredible combo, and honestly, he's hands down actually one of the best legends in Brawlhalla. Prior to his nerf in a patch actually pretty recently, not gonna lie, in his patch pretty recently, then he actually, honestly, he slightly got a nerf, I think, to his strength stat, which they said we want to make Lucien a more balanced character, but honestly, that's really not helped out at all. I beg you guys, please nerf this character again, because I see him so much in Strikeout, and I get literally one-tapped all the time by him. Now we're on to Mirage, actually one of the most popular legends in the entire game. And the reason I say that is Mirage is broken as hell. Mirage's strength stat is through the roof good, and same with his dexterity. Defense stats is insanely good balance, and same with speed. Scythe and Spear is an okay combo, not gonna lie, but maybe I feel like if he had something else, maybe if he had something more just to add to it, maybe if they put 1 bar off his strength, maybe put that into his defense stat, I feel like that would make him a more balanced character overall, or more broken, we don't know. I just wish that the Brawlhalla team would actually try something like that, but you know. Now we're on to another one of my recent mains, which the one I said when I went off of one character that I went on to Mordex. Mordex is a sick character. He's an extremely good character when it comes to strength stats. Defense dexterity wise is fairly okay. Speed stat is really, really good. And honestly, Starving Gauntlet combo is just insane. So that's really all I have to say about him. Queen Nai. I see this person a lot in strikeouts and ranked. I see her so much in all of these. Reason I say that is because her defense stat is fairly damn good. It's literally, and also her pick rate's been pretty dang good over the past few seasons. They've actually nerfed her and buffed her. She's actually been one of the most mixed opinion characters in the game. Personally, I don't really like her because she's just not really a character that's grown on me that much. But honestly, that's just me. But talking about characters growing on people, we have Nyx. Nyx is honestly a sick legend, and I don't think anyone I don't think anyone has not played this guy, honestly, because he is a really good really good character. For example, Defense stat total is insanely good, speed is very good, respectable strength, and honestly, pretty dang good dexterity. Scythe and Blasters, again, is an amazing combo. You want to get in, but honestly, he's one of the more difficult characters to master, may I say, but that's really just me. Was it me? But, I don't know. Now we have the newest and most recent legend added into the game. We have Onyx. Now, honestly, I haven't played Onyx that much. I've played a few games with him, that's it. But honestly, everything about him just honestly screams not good, in my opinion. His speed stats is meh, and his dexterity is pretty meh as well. They did bring a combo of gauntlets and cannon into Brawlhalla, which actually seemed like a good combo at the time. But I feel like they could have done more with this character. But there's just two words I can really describe on Onyx, and that's just wasted potential. Now we have arguably one of the most broken characters in Brawl, and that is Ryan. Ryan is broken. I have never seen this guy get a nerf, I don't think, but honestly, I believe in the patch notes they did say they might be nerfing him, they might not be. But he's honestly one of the most overpicked characters right now. So I beg you, Brawlhalla, nerf him. Now we're on Patra. Patra, again, not my most played legend, but I don't really like her. She's had buffs and nerfs over the course of the years, but honestly, she's just never been a character that stuck out to me. And that's because, honestly, her strength stat is through the roof good. It's through the roof good when it comes to that, but dexterity, defense, and speed is really what holds her back. Just maybe take one bar off of her, each off of her strength, and maybe put it on dexterity, dexterity and defense. I'm not saying really nerf her, but I'm saying buff her in a way. Now we're going on Ragnar. Ragnar is, I've only played a few games with him again, but I've played a lot of him on PC. Honestly, Ragnar, he's a good legend all in all. Fast, quick attacks with the guitar, heavy attacks with the arrow. Actually, in my opinion, the most balanced character, because he has plenty of counters. He's got plenty of He's got really good defenses. He's got good dexterity. Strength is pretty respectable, and same with speed. And that's really all I've got to say about him. We have a former main of mine, Raymond. Again, one of the most balanced characters in the game. And he has a good combination between gauntlets and axe, because his gauntlets actually act as a ranged weapon, which was the first for when we saw in Brawlhalla. And that was honestly, I think, the first ranged gauntlet character we actually ever saw. I believe, at least. Well, he's got more range than people like Kraus. He's got more range than loads of characters. But one of my favourite things about him is honestly his Bodvar impersonation skin. That is a sick skin, and I love it. It's funny as hell. But honestly, I think his stats are really well distributed, as well as his weapons. Now we have another extremely broken character, Sir Roland. Sir Roland has arguably the best stats in the game. He's got good stat distribution when it comes to strength, dexterity, and speed. However, his defense stat is through the roof good. And that's really because of the reason I see him picked in Strikeout, and the reason I see him picked in Strikeout so much, is because you can literally just 3-shot an opponent. You don't even need to sig. And it's actually getting to the point where I really think they should nerf his defense stat, because it's actually really high, and we don't need that right now. Now we're on to Scarlet. Now, Scarlet is, again, a more played legend with me. And the reason I say that is because her strength stat is actually extremely good. And also, other than people lesser than people like Patra, she's actually got a more balanced kit, in my opinion. She's not the hardest character to pick up a master, but she does take a bit of going when it comes to the Rocket Lance, because the Rocket Lance is sort of an awkward mechanic to master in Brawlhalla. So I'd suggest trying her out, going into a custom game with your friends and trying her out. Up next we have Sentinel. Again, a more overplayed legend of me. He's got he's got arguably some of the best stats in Brawlhalla, and that's due to his extremely good defense stat and extremely good speed stat. His defense and dexterity are pretty tolerable and respectable, and that's not just me talking. Honestly, he is a very balanced character, and I don't really see any bad points in him. Now we have Sidra. Sidra I've never played on console, but I've played her a bit on PC. She's okay of a legend, but I do see her being overpicked a lot, and that's really just for people sig spamming with the cannon. And honestly, I just can't stress this enough. Stop sig spamming with cannon characters, guys, honestly, because it pisses people off and there's just nothing to do with it. Now we have my first ever main in Brawlhalla, and that is actually Terrace. I have a lot of hours played on this guy, and honestly, dexterity-wise, he's pretty poor, but he does make up for it in defense, speed, and strength. His strength stats, honestly, I feel like he should just take 2 bars off it and maybe give that 2 bars to his dexterity. That would make him a very balanced character, but this is Brawlhalla. You don't really need to balance out characters when they're counters. For example, I feel like they actually might need to buff his axe, because his axe right now, he does a lot of damage with it, but honestly, I feel like it just needs a little bit more just to be a top tier good character. He's a good character, but honestly, I feel like he just needs to be a slight buff just to be great. Now, up next, we have Thatch. Thatch is pretty poor, not gonna lie. I see him picked a lot, but I don't actually know why. I just can't really put my finger on it. Blasters and Sword is an okay combo, but he just isn't a good tier character for me. He's more of a lower tier character if you look at his stats, but when you look at his weapon combo, he's more of a higher tier, so I'm not really sure where to place him. So I'd probably say if he was going to be in a tier list, I'd say he's pretty easy middle tier, but that's really just me. And if there is anything, then if there is anything to do with that, then if it is anything to do with his weapon combo, then I feel like maybe they should start thinking about giving Thatch a rework. Now we have Thor. Thor, again, was one of my backups at one point, and that's really because of his insanely good, well-distributed stats. Dexterity-wise, he was okay. Speed-wise, he's great, and same with his defense and strength. Grapple Hammer and the Orb is an extremely good combo, which I feel is extremely underrated, and I would say I don't see him played as often as I'd like to see him played. But I would say if you want to pick up and master him, then he would need a bit of going. Now we have Agron. Agron again isn't my most played character, but I do know this. He has some of the weirdest stat distributions in Brawlhalla. That's really because of his absurdly high defense and strength stats. But then you've got his puny dexterity stat, and it's exactly the same as Terrace's dexterity. I don't really see why, but I feel like he needs a slight buff to his dexterity, and maybe a small nerf to his strength, I guess. But that's really just me. But I want to know what you guys think of what I'm saying. Alright, now we're on to Val. Again, my second ever main in Brawlhalla. And the reason I say that is because of her extremely balanced stats. She's got absurdly high speed as well as defense. Strength-wise, she's okay, and same with dexterity. Gauntlets and Sword is a very good combo with Val, and I don't actually see why she's picked like as less as she is. I don't see anything wrong with her personally. Vector is okay of a character, but I just don't like him. There's nothing really that sticks out to me about him. But now Brawlhalla must have put everyone at Brawlhalla must have put a lot of work into this character. Reason I say that is because of his strange weapon combo and his strange defense, his strange stat distribution. And also because of the way his rocket, I like the way his rocket lance turns into a ship and then tries to shred people. That's honestly one of the most interesting things and also most unique things I've seen in Brawlhalla. Now we have Volkov. Volkov is a very good character. Dexterity and defense stats is extremely good. He's got very balanced stats, and axe and scythe wise, and his weapons include the axe and scythe. The scythe is good for quick damage, and the axe is just good for heavy sigs, finishing people off. Now, he's more of a difficult character to play because you've got to really know what his counters are. I know this can be said for most characters, but you really have to know what Volkov's counters are, and that's really just anyone with range. Now we have Lord Vrax. Again, not my most played character, and the reason I say that is because he's never just stuck out to me. Like, for example, his strength stat is meh, his dexterity is pretty big, his defense is just meh, and same with his speed. I don't really see too much, I don't see people pick him, but the thing is I can see why. So maybe Brawlhalla, if Brawlhalla maybe gave him a buff, because I don't actually see the points in him, to be honest. Either give him a full rework or just give him a big buff, because he's been a very underpicked character since day one, honestly. Now we have Wushang. Wushang is one of my current mains, and he's broken as hell. And honestly, his gauntlets and spear combo. Gauntlets is good for quick and easy damage if you want to get some good sigs in. Maybe those are good. His spear is insanely fast for attacks and combos. And honestly, he's again one of the best legends in Brawlhalla. He actually doesn't take too much just to pick up a master, but he is one of the best legends, arguably, in Brawlhalla. Now we have one of the worst characters, and that's Zal. Zal has the highest strength stat in the entire game, but he's got puny dexterity as well as speed and defense. Cannon and Axe is a very good combo, but he's just too broken when it comes to strength, because literally this guy can almost one-shot people. And it's just getting out of hand at this point, because I see too many people playing Zal and not really other legends like Koji and Ragnar, and also even like a Hitori. Like, there's multiple other characters you could be playing, but why do you pick bearded Shrek? Now we have Yumiko. Yumiko actually has a very unique ability in the bow, where she can teleport herself to attacking other characters in the game. Honestly, this is actually one of the second most unique characters I've actually seen of the entirety of Brawlhalla's like character pool. Honestly, she's got a very wide range of attacks, and also she's got a very wide range of attacks with her grapple hammer and her bow. She's got very good stats, and honestly, she doesn't take too much to pick up a master. Now, last but not least, we have Zariel. Zariel is not a good character, in my opinion. I have hardly ever played her, but honestly, she's just not a good character, in my opinion, because strength-wise, she's good, defense-wise, she's good, dexterity and speed is really what holds her back. She sort of needs a buff, in my opinion, but that's really just me. So if Zariel ever gets a buff in the future, you can bet I'll probably be playing her. Right, well that was my list. If you guys did enjoy, don't forget to leave a like, comment and subscribe to my channel. I'll be posting more content like Brawlhalla, Overwatch, Rainbow Six Siege, sometimes even Call of Duty. So if you want to see that on my channel, then please hit that subscribe button, because it really helps me out to know what content you guys would like. So then and also currently we're on our way to 50 subscribers, so if you wouldn't mind subscribing, it will be a huge help, and you will be part of our road to 50. Now, also, I have actually been meaning to say this in a while, but I'm actually thinking of starting to bring out merch if I start hitting bigger sub goals. For example, if I hit 100 subs, I will definitely consider it. But if I started to hit stuff like 500 subs, then I'll definitely do it. So if you want to see that, then I will definitely. If you want to see that, please leave a subscribe. Comment down below what are like some merch ideas, and then maybe just maybe, I might think about doing them. Right, so I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.